So for some reason, when I have to find the halfway points and one of the endpoints is 0, the whole idea of averaging the coefficients and getting them all over the same stuff is a little bit more obnoxious. You can do that if you want to. If you want to think of this 0 as 0 pi over 3 and use the same techniques, and if you end up getting pi over 6, pi over 3, and pi over 2 as your other answers, stop this video now. You don't need to hear me talk about this. But I'm not going to do it the same way. When it starts with 0, then the halfway point between 0 and whatever this other number is half of that number. So in one way, I'm going to take that number and divide it by 2. But of course, we all know that that's the same thing as multiplying by a half, which essentially boils down to me looking at this denominator and doubling it. So if I was really going to do this, I'd be like, okay, starts at 0, goes to over here. I want half that value. Let me double that denominator. That'd be 2 pi over 6. And, well, I can reduce that fraction. So I'll actually write that as 1 pi over 3. And maybe you could have gotten there thousands of other ways much quicker. Fantastic. But I'll do this again now. So I want to break this interval in half. And same trick. If I was to divide this by 2, that's the same as multiplying it by a half, which is basically doubling the denominator. The halfway point over here is pi over 6. So now I've got the half broken in half. So now, rather than take the average of these, which can be kind of obnoxious, there's another trick. If I put all this stuff over the same denominator, a very obvious pattern will reveal itself. You'll see. So if I take this 0, I'll leave that as 0. This is pi over 6. If I write this, or think of this really as something over 6, to make that denominator 6, I'd have to double it. So pi over 3 is the same thing as double the numerator, double the denominator. I don't know what this one is yet. If I want to make this be over 6, double the denominator, double the numerator, and you can see the pattern 0, 1 pi over 6, 2 pi over 6. This must be 3 pi over 6. Which reduces to pi over 2. And so now I've done it. I took the endpoints. I found that halfway point by simply doubling this denominator. That gave me the pi over 3 once I reduced it. I found the next halfway point by doubling that denominator. And then, once I wrote them all over the same denominator, this one is going to be very obviously something in between, which can be reduced. Don't know why I spent the last 30 seconds recapping the previous minute and a half, but maybe you found it useful. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. One of the things I'll say like this, even if none of this was helpful to you, I hope you're recognizing that, like, look, anytime in math, if you have to find half of something, we're just doubling the denominator. You're going to see me use that trick a lot in the upcoming lessons anyways. So I hope that was at least maybe like a little tiny epiphany for you. Who knows? Let's see how these are applied in the problems, and hopefully it's going to be really awesome.